Next, we've got Yubo talking about the intersection of NFTs and DeFi. Come up onto the stage.
Thank you. Cool. Well, we can give like 30 seconds because we're loading for the slide, and it should be getting there in a couple seconds. But maybe I can give a quick introduction to Parallel. So Parallel Finance, we wanted to build a whole like one-stop DeFi ecosystem that allow people to do borrow, lending, swap, staking, everything in one place. We started in the Polkadot ecosystem, and after roughly a year, we become one of the largest parachain. And we have over 500 million TVLs, and then we launched a bunch of new products and raised a lot of money. So today, I wanted to introduce a new protocol called Omni Protocol. This is a incredible, useful NFT financialization tools for all of the sort of NFT holders. And I'm still waiting for the slide, but I guess I can get started to start. So basically, I wanted to sort of talk about in general like how we are handling this NFT lending markets and also the NFT buy now pay later options and derivatives. So we started with a generalized money market protocol, so people can borrow and lend with their NFT as a collateral. And then we did it in a pool-to-pool based model. We used the floor, and we used the floor to value the NFT, and then we give around 30% LTVs for user. It's instant loan, so anybody can just apply and borrow. Second, we provide this leverage buy capability. So let's say that you have you want to buy 100 ETH worth of ape. And our platform allows you to just pay 70% down payments, and then the rest 30% you can pay later. And the NFTs that you purchase will be locked up in our escrow contracts. As long as you pay back the loan, then the system can give back the NFT to you. And then another big thing we're going to have is the Uniswap VC support. So Uniswap LP tokens are a super valuable NFT token. And we have done some extensive research on how to value it and how to price it and how to design a dynamic liquidation threshold. So that will be another really big thing that our system can support. And then the last one will be the sort of the rental for NFT. So user can use a specific, all kinds of blue chips or gamings as a, once they supply in the system, then now they can just like allow other people to rent it, and people pay the daily renting fees for a specific utility. It could be a ticketing utility, or it could be anything, to be honest. So yeah, that will be the main stuff of the platform. And so I'm gonna do some Q&A because I'm really trying to show you guys something, but the computer doesn't work. Maybe on there someone is fixing it. Made DeFi bigger, actually. Like if you think about from real estate to commercial aircraft to carbon dioxide to anything, like those are non-fungible. And if you support that in a DeFi ecosystem, then that's great. The whole ecosystem can grow bigger when you combine both of them. I think NFT is a amazing representation of the asset class that we currently doesn't have in the system. Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Could you want to repeat the question?
Okay, now we have that. So let's do a demo quickly. So, Jesus. So this is Omni protocol on Ethereum mainnet. And then I have connected with my MetaMask wallets. And then now you can supply some, let's say supply some doodles into the system, and now I can just borrow some loans. So, oh, it's not my wallet, so maybe just go down and show them. So you have to have some money into the wallets, and then you can borrow anything. So how about we switch to the Ringby testnet? So Ringby testnet, you have some specific, like NFTs. Anybody can play around, by the way. It's called omniprotocol.xyz. Yes, the Ringby is in the dev.omniprotocol.xyz. I think you have to switch from the here, and then now you can Now we switch to accounts that has money, and then we can go down a little bit. And now we can take a look at the supply position. So this guy have a lot of money into wallets, and then let's say, for example, let's supply some whatever NFTs in the system, or ETH, so it's a generalized money markets. So people can borrow. People can actually borrow ERC20, any ERC20, like dollar, ApeCoin, BTC, STs, and also people can use any ERC20 or NFT, use it as a collateral to use the system. Everything is instant, similar to the Avi model, and yeah. And then the internet broke. But I think you guys get a point. And then we can go up a little bit to see the supplied and borrow positions. We can open that up at the drop downs. Yeah, let's open that up. So this user borrowed some USDC and USDT, and then we can open up the supply position. Let's open up the supplied position on the top. Yeah, right here. So you can see that this specific user supplied 4 Bored Apes, and we can open that, the drop-down menu for that, and people can supply more into the system. Now we can see what is the floor price and what is the potential collateral value that we can provide, and then the new borrow limits afterwards. So you can just supply whatever NFTs that you have, and then start to use the system. So that would be a super simple, demonstration of how that works, and we can open up the drop-down, for Bored Apes on the left. Yeah, right here. So you can see all of the things you supplied, and then you can choose which one you wanted to open up as a collateral, which one is not. Okay, so because we can't really play the deck on the other person's computer, but I want to mention about some other features we're going to support. So we can go to the marketplace for the next one. And so the internet is kind of slow, so you didn't see the photo, but basically, we support this buy now, pay later functionalities. So people just need to pay roughly 70% of the value, and then they can put the rest to borrow later on. So this is the system support. So it's super fast, and then we support a sort of aggregation for other or NFT marketplace. You can just borrow directly from that. And then we can take a look at the buy now as well. And then we can also go to the documentation on the top right. So I want to give some ideas of how that works. So we can go to the risk framework, and then we can talk about one of the first research. Yeah, let's talk about the protocol shortfall studies. So NFT is super volatile. If we go down to one of the charts that we have, we did a lot of research on how much of a parameter we should give. So this is the real data of the Bored Ape in the last months, and then the line below it, the red line is actually how much people can borrow, and then the blue line above it is the liquidation trigger. So if the price drop and it didn't really hit the trigger, then we won't start the liquidation process. So in this whole study, no matter how big of a drop in this, historical data, the protocol won't lose any money. And if we go down to the Zuki case, here in the Zuki case, right, we're assuming that in the last 30 days, everybody borrow the max amount, right, 30%, and then every single hours or every day there are multiple people trying to borrow. In that case, there will be a potential loss for the protocol, but it's very little. If you can see that little tick here below the red line, that's where when the liquidation trigger, but then we can't sell above the debt amount, then that could potentially have an issue. But overall, we think that is pretty much like 2 sigma away potential like situations, and we obviously need to do more research on that and to optimize all the parameters to find a really good balance between like users, first protocol losses versus the user false liquidation scenario. We also do some study like how likely that we can trigger false liquidation, and then we come up with a conclusion where we want to use some TWAP type of mechanism to filter out the extreme price movements to make sure that the user on the platform won't get a false liquidation in any potential situations. So yeah. Another thing maybe I can quickly talk about is the Uniswap v3 as an LP, and then also how do we design a mechanism to short NFTs. So if you go to the next page, first we analyze the token price of the Uniswap v3 LPs. And then we analyze the stability value of the NFT tokens. So the gray line is the ETH value with respect to the price change, and then the orange line is the the V2 LP tokens. And then you can also take a look at the V3 LP token change. It's actually a little bit more sort of flat when the price go up and the price go down. So based on those kind of research, we are working on a new type of dynamic liquidation threshold so that we can support any type of like NFT Uniswap v3 LP position. So you can just borrow money against that instantly to use for leverage for whatever that you wanted to do. And then there are some other stuff like there are some major issues to solve, and then some mechanism we're trying to collaborate. And then maybe last one we can talk about the NFT. Actually, that's the main thing I want to share with. So. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.